This is the plaintiff, Donna Laurie. She says she was driving down the road one night when all of a sudden she heard and felt a loud thud. The defendant threw a piece of wood out of his garage into the street and it hit her car. She was scared out of her wits when the chunk of wood clunked her passenger door, and she's lucky she was able to keep her composure and not crash. Now, she has a dent. The defendant refuses to admit he caused it, and she just wants to get the $996.33 from him today so she can fix her car. This is the defendant, Patrick Sweeney. He says the plaintiff was speeding down his street one night, came very close to the curb, stopped, backed up, and then accused him of throwing a piece of wood at her car. He asked the plaintiff if she was kidding, and she said she was going to call the cops. Why in the world would he throw a piece of wood at someone's car? Even the cops searched high and low for a piece of wood and didn't find a thing. Oh, her! Ha! He's accused of tossing some timber.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. Imagine the plaintiff shocked. She says she saw the defendant take a piece of wood from his garage, fling it into the street, and it hit her car. But the defendant says not so fast. It didn't happen. And by the way, she was speeding. It's the case of you gave me wood.
Okay, Donna Laurie?
Correct.
You are suing Patrick Sweeney for $996.33, the amount to repair a 2011 Jeep Wrangler that you are trying to repair as a result of what you say was his negligence.
Correct.
Okay, tell me what happened.
I was driving down County Line Road, and I hear
Where is
loud.
that?
It's in Massapequa.
Okay, and when were you doing that?
It was like 6:30 p.m.
What day?
I don't remember the date exactly.
December?
Yes,
Okay.
it's on the sheet. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Go on.
I hear a loud noise, and I knew something hit my car, but I wasn't sure what. So I turned around. I got scared because I thought it was going to hit the windshield, but it didn't. I heard it hit the side of the car. So I turned around, and I see this gentleman on to the left of me, Patrick Sweeney. He was flinging wood. Instead of like carrying it to the garbage, he was doing like a frisbee like this. So I said to him, I pulled over and I said, "You just hit my car." I said, "You could have killed me." And he says to me, "I didn't hit your car." He goes, "Are you kidding me?"
He was flinging it to where?
To the garbage.
Where was the garbage?
On the curb part of the street.
The curb part being the sidewalk part?
Yes, correct.
Okay, is the sidewalk elevated a little bit?
Yes.
All right, so he's not throwing it into the street, but is it sticking out into the street?
Some of it was on the street and some of it was on the sidewalk.
So now it's no longer on the sidewalk part.
Right.
Now it's half on the part on the street and part on the sidewalk.
Correct.
So now it's in the street. All right, go on.
So I confronted him and I said, "You just hit my car." And he said, "No, I didn't." And I didn't see the damage exactly because it was really dark and my car's black. So across the street, he has like a street light. So I pulled across and I saw where the dent was. And I went back to his house and I called the police right away. So about 20 minutes later, the cops come and he was telling the cops his side. And the cops saying to him, "Well, if she went on the sidewalk like he said I did, there's no tire marks or anything here." So they wrote on the police report, he threw an object at my car. They totally believe.
Can I see the police report?
Sure.
Okay, what's going on?
I was putting trash out on the curb. And,
What kind of trash? Why was there so much wood?
pieces of wood from an old freezer. My parents moving out of the house.
Pieces of wood from an old freezer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I never had an old freezer that had wood. What do you mean?
I know, it's a very old freezer, and the bottom of the freezer had like a skid made out of wood.
Okay, and so you were throwing it out?
I was putting the wood out on the curb.
Putting or throwing?
I never
Frisbee?
I never threw wood.
Okay.
I wouldn't throw debris.
All right, so where was where were you piling the debris?
On the curb.
Okay, that's on the elevated part?
Yes, I have
Do you
some
have a picture?
pictures.
Do you have a picture of the damage to your car?
Yes, I do.
What kind of car do you drive?
2011 Jeep Wrangler.
That's right.
Pictures.
Okay, so your hand is pointing here. So here where the snow is where you were piling the wood?
Yes.
Okay, there's a garbage can here, but you weren't putting it in a garbage can.
When I was in the process of piling the wood together, so there was wood in the street on the side.
Here?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think happened? That she drove and maybe hit something here? But it's too high in her car for that to have happened. That's where she says it was hit. Did you get a chance to look at her car?
Yeah, I took my flashlight out and looked at it.
Okay, did you take a picture of it?
No, I didn't, unfortunately.
Was the car well kept?
Yes.
Okay. So there's no dispute between the two of you that the car got hit by something. You're just saying it wasn't you?
Right, I didn't throw it.
Now you have one part circled that says dent, another part circled that says dent, and then another part where you're showing damage. How many spots are you claiming?
It's like 3 spots. It's like on the door, on the window part, and then a little by the antenna. And you can see where it's like scraped too. So scraped and dented.
When did you see him tossing the Frisbee wood? After you heard the noise and you went back to find out what it was?
Exactly.
Okay, so he says he was stacking it on the curb. There was wood in the street. She says that there's damage to her car. Is that enough to prove a case?
No, I don't think so. Anyone could have dropped the wood.
It's stacked on the curb, guys.
Well, if he's liable for the refuse until the city picks it up, I suspect.
Well, no. But the issue is, did he throw it in the street? The issue is, I mean, is that enough proof that if there's wood in the, he's putting it in
No.
You're saying no?
No, that's not proof. Just because there's wood in the street, it could have dropped off some other truck passing by.
You would have found O.J. Simpson not guilty, wouldn't you? Just tell me the truth, right? Just tell me the truth. Going inside the courtroom.
In my peripheral vision, I see something white. I don't know if it's a 2x4. It was a 2x4. I didn't know that. So I just turned around and saw him flinging wood to the garbage.
From where?
From, like, he was coming out of his garage. I guess he had stuff in the garage and he was, flinging it. Instead of carrying
how many? The distance of how many feet was he flinging?
Maybe like 3 feet. It was dark too, so it was just,
Was it nighttime?
Yeah, it was nighttime.
So let me see the police report.
This is what she gave.
It's not going to be a police report, is it? Does it have facts or it's just a piece of paper?
That's what they gave me.
Okay, but this is an event report. Person threw object at her vehicle. That's it? That's the report? Well, that was helpful. I assume there were no other witnesses, correct?
No witnesses, no.
Out of curiosity, did anybody go through insurance in any way or not really?
No. The police officer told me to go to small claims because it's hard to get money out of, for this type of a case, so I did.
Can I see the auto body report?
I have 2. I took the lesser of the price because I just want the car fixed. It wasn't about, so I actually have 2 of them.
Judge,
Yeah.
she showed me one small part of damage on her car at the time.
Was it the only damage that you saw?
Only one.
Okay,
little
but I'm looking at
place.
3. What do you think happened?
I don't know.
I mean, they're
there was-
small. The
it was
problem is that
only
whenever you
one-
take any car in for body work,
It's
if you-
nice to get everything taken care of.
Well, that's fine. That's why I asked you if her car was well maintained. That's why I asked you if there was any other damage to the car. I mean, she's got some damage to her car. I have you telling me, yeah, I was placing the wood, not throwing the wood. Yeah, the wood was on the street part because I was getting it together to put it in, where I have to put it. But no, Judge, I didn't fling it. But I have the one damage and nothing else. And her saying, what just hit my car? Turning around and looking at me, what would... If not you, then who? She's not trying to make the case better by saying I saw him fling it at me, which half of humanity does, and then I just don't believe them because they're liars. She's actually telling me, I don't know what it was. I know something hit my car. I then turned around and came back, and I see a guy tossing wood. It's got to be him. So there's my case, Judge. I can't make it any better or any worse. And here, if something, let's assume a piece of wood did hit her car, it can ricochet, it doesn't just, it's a piece of wood. So it goes boom, boom, that's kind of how it works. So I ask you, is her car all beat up? Because, sometimes in the pictures with the shine and the reflection of stuff, it's hard to tell. This is not my first
she
rodeo.
came
I've
back
done this a long time.
and showed me the spot. And
Yeah.
I got my flashlight and I shone my flashlight on it.
Yeah. Okay.
It was slight damage.
Based on what I've heard, I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $996.33.
Thank you, Your
Everybody should
Honor.
be more careful.
Thank you.
Because it just seems like the most logical explanation that something you did hit her car. Step over here. Thank you. What's your reaction to this outcome? It's pinned on you.
I'm a little upset because I did not throw anything at the
What do you
car.
think hit her car?
I think she
and how?
drove into the debris on the road.
And that it ricocheted back.
Uh-huh.
It was not past the line on the road where you're supposed to be driving. There's 3, there's a double yellow line in the middle and then the white line. And he was on the side.
All right.
of the road.
Okay. All right. You just head right around the corner this way. Let's see what the plaintiff has to say about the outcome here. Is there any? You heard what he said, right?
I did. I
what
heard
he
him.
thinks happened. Why would he throw wood at your car?
He didn't throw it intentionally. He was flinging the wood because he was lazy to bring it to the garbage. So I wouldn't say he tried to hit my car on purpose.
It was
he did.
dark, right?
It was dark.
It was dark. So you think somebody is going to be so careless as to throw wood around when it's dark and you don't know who you might hit?
Well, that's exactly what happened, and the judge saw through it, so I'm kind of happy.
Okay, over to Harvey.
Okay, you know, we talk about circumstantial evidence. This is the perfect case. There is plenty of circumstantial evidence here. There is wood in the street. Case closed. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.